Hi, this is Tina. I wanted to share with you about Crafter's Companion embossing boards. I love their Ultimate machine. Well, it's a piece of equipment that you can use. They have several boards, boxer boards, so on. In fact, when I got that, I got rid of my Score Pal and Martha Stewart embossing boards. I just felt no use for them. Um, what we're going to create today is off their popcorn board, and we are going to make this beautiful little birdhouse. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, what comes on the boxer board is the actual popcorn box. That's the top of the birdhouse. There's the bird, its wing, a couple different leaves, some flowers that you can put on it. In the branch, and the shingles. What does not come on it is the piece that goes for the roof, and I have measured that out, and it is 8 by 4 inches, and then you just scored 4 inches. Now I tend to make 6 each of this roof piece besides the centerpiece, and I'll show you what I mean. Now that's what I forgot, the scoring piece. There we go. This is very simple to use. I'm going to turn it so I can see it the best way I can. And what I use, it's even made easier with their stick and spray. Let me see if I can get out of the glare. Stick and spray by Crafter's Companion. You spray it on there, wait for 30 seconds, and it puts on this real tacky glue, but it doesn't stick to your paper. And you can get it off with Goo Gone or their Companion Stick Away from Crafter's Companion spray. And it just keeps your paper in place so that you do not have to worry about it sliding all over the place while you're embossing. I love it. Now, what I do for this is you do 2 pieces of everything. I'm going to put this on, you see this edge right here? Edge right here of the birdhouse, or the popcorn box actually. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put this down here, press it on, and this spray has been on here for 2 weeks. No joke. You can put a piece of wax paper if you need it. I don't find any problems. You know, you're probably wondering, how the heck can you find these lines? Well, after maybe one try, it's not difficult at all. Okay, I'm going to go up here. And even if you do goof, and you go outside, it does not show on the other side. So I'm just going along gently. There are styluses with bigger heads that would be less likely to pierce through like I just did, but I didn't do it. See, I just scooped up there. It's not going to show. It's not going to show at all on the other side. Well, in the case it did, right? But normally it doesn't show. This is real thin cardstock. I was just doing this for purposes to show you how to do the embossing. Anyways, so to get the roof, I've tried doing it with 2 pieces. I like it doing this way, which Sarah Davies, who's the owner of the company, had demonstrated. I'm going to fold it on this score line right here. I've cut it out, and I'm going to fold it on that score line, and then I'm just going to match it up to that line right there. Rub it down, it won't move, and I'm going to score up. I will find this. There we go. Got the center line. It's going to go down, and it comes out and goes up and down and up. Come on. And down. So now I've got the roof, and I would do that on both sides and cut this all out so I have matching pieces. And thanks to the magic of video and some preparation, I have already done that. So I have 2 pieces here that I've cut out. This also has the hole where the location of the hole should be. So I just basically laid this over here, knowing that's where it was going to be, embossed around it, and used a spellbinder's die to cut that out. I've put on red tape. I'm keeping on reaching over here so I can keep the window active, because last time I tried to do this, which was creating that birdhouse, it actually stopped and I had not realized it. So I am going to peel off my red liner tape and match up these best I can. Obviously when you're embossing it, you only need one of these bottom parts. I'm just going to rub it, make sure I've got it on there thorough. I had inked up the edges, of course, as you can obviously see. What I did was use some spray adhesive and sprayed on some cardstock and put the designer paper on top of that so I wouldn't have to worry about cutting it out twice, which I had done originally when I first made this. You want to talk about making yourself extra work. I had cut out cardstock and then cut out the designer paper so that it fit just within, and it was like, why? Now here is a biggie, a real biggie. Oh, and I didn't need that there. Do not, first of all, don't use double stick tape here, and hopefully this will stick despite that. It is really hard to put the roof on otherwise, but we're going to wait on that. We're going to finish this roof. I have tried to spare you some time here by putting on half the roof. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Let's be a little disorganized. What you want to do for this centerpiece is I emboss it on one side, cut it out, then flip it over just like I did up here so that the line matched, lay it down and emboss it again, then cut out, and I've got the centerpiece. Alright? Also, I have cut out with those spellbinder's dies to match this perfectly and cut out another pattern to make that hole a little better. What I'm going to do right now is, I'll go back to that roof in a second. I'm just going to put this on. And anybody who knows me, I like the Fabric Tac and Fabric Fix glues. That's the other thing I forgot, was the baby wipe. Alright, I'm going to lay that down flat and put this on. Okay. Now I do have a Xyron adhesive eraser, which is wonderful when I do things like this. Well, this is an older one where I've cut it in half, but it will get rid of all this extra adhesive that I just put on by getting it on my hands and everything else. I'm going to slide that back on and let it dry. Okay? And I'll actually erase it off here too. Love that eraser. Can't live without it. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of these pieces on. Hopefully without knocking things over and making a big mess and clang. Alright. So, like I said, I've cut out 6. I've tried it with 4, I've tried it with 5. That one's done with 5. I really am liking 6. Seems to be less of a gap. And if you've noticed, what I did with these shingles is I took my bone folder and just pressed them up a little bit so they have a little bit of lift on the ends. And I'm just putting the glue on the top so that part will stick up. I'm trying to match the distance that I put on the other side. Okay. I sure do hope this video turns out, because I just absolutely love Crafters Companions embossing boards, and the things that you can create with them. And yes, they might take a little bit longer. It's not a die. It's not a die cutting machine with a die, and so you're not, just whipping along, cutting out stuff. You're doing it by your fingers, by your hands, by your scissors. But you know, it's worth it. And some people can't afford a die cutting machine. I know I have two. I have a Big Shot and a Grand Caliber. The Grand Caliber being one of my favorite, because it love the big dies, love Spellbinders dies, and how it cuts so well. But you know, you don't have to have that to create. Okay, I've got that right in the center, and I'm going to hold that down for a minute. I'm doing this video fairly early. I mean, I spent all day yesterday prepping for this stuff, and no, it doesn't take that long. I just ended up spending extra time doing it because I was doing extra pieces, as you can see. All right, now, this is the fussy part. First of all, do not shut the bottom when you're doing it, because I've learned that part, and I've tried doing it with red tape. You need the slide. You need to be able to slide. So I'm going to try and put, this might not work. I'm going to try using the sticky tape since I've got it here, and hope and pray to God that I don't haven't messed this up by doing this, because I don't know how well. Well, actually, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to remove the plastic and put the glue on top of there, because I want some give. I want some leeway. If you just put the red tape, you know, it's there. It's stuck. You're not going to budge it. This will give it a little bit more give. Okay, I've got this two parts on, these two sides. I'm going to take this one off over here and try and glue it up. Is that even a phrase that you can use? Glue it up? I wish I wouldn't have put this on here. I was a little tired last night when I was doing this. I decided not to do the video then because I was a little tired. So I ended up messing up the prep, but at least I got it, most of the stuff prepped out. Come on. As you'll see on several videos from several other people, there we go. The red line liner off is the worst part of that process. All right, I am going to put a lot of glue on there, move half the strings, and hold that over and push that on. And try and get that a little bit less. There we go. Now, I told you to not put the end down, because I reach in with a ruler or with my bone folder, press that out a little bit, and make sure the glue is adhering really well. And that needs to slide down just a little bit more. This is the worst part of it. It is the fussiest. It's not hard, it's just fussy. I'm going to go in my bone folder again, make sure this part's stuck good. Okay, make sure it's all pressed down. If I had a ruler on hand, I would go through with this. Actually, I have some scissors that might actually reach up in there. Yep. And I'm going to push that down. I just want to make sure it's not going to come off. And voila, we have the roof on. You know, I made it out to be even worse, to be fairly bad, but it's not really, not perfectly bad. Okay, I'm going to take the red liner tape off the bottom, which is, I did want it on the bottom. But again, if you're going to use this, if you're going to make one of these, try not to put the red liner tape on the top, because for the roof, because it really, you need some give. You need to have the time to slide things around. Aha. See, now at least one good thing in me doing the other video, I found out what took a long time and what didn't, and what worked and what didn't, and I am going to slide this in whether it wants it or not. Come on. I don't usually have this problem. And of course, that's red liner tape. There we go. We got it. And that will stick. So now we've got that birdhouse is made. And we're down to decorating it. And I have things everywhere. I have, like I said, I did a little bit of prep work last night. I put all the foam tape on these. I'm going to pull it off. Now, I've had a problem with foam tape lately. Granted, I tend to make a ton of cards, and I don't use foam tape much. So my tape is probably the glue on it's getting oldish. I have been disappointed where it's actually come off. And so I have been putting glue on top of the foam tape. If I'm going to make something, I want it to stay. So I've got this. I'm going to put this down just a smidge more. And yes, that eraser will come into play again. And I'm going to pick out a bird. Like that one? Or this one? I think I'm going to, even though there's not that much of a difference, I think I'm going to go with this one. And I've got to find a wing that goes with it. And I will use the blue wing. Alright, so again, got all the foam tape on here. Just pull off those tabs. Again, part of the hardest part of it. And I'm going to make sure I've got some glue on it. Sorry about that, didn't mean to hit the camera. And I've got a cat outside right now saying that he needs to be in here, even though he doesn't. Okay, and I'm going to put this, hopefully you cannot hear him, put the wing on, figure out where it goes. I'm going to trim that foam tape off a little bit, showing off on the bottom, and I'm going to put the wing right there. Look good? Alright. Obviously, I colored all these with Prismacolor pencils and some metallic pencils from Stampin' Up, and then highlighted with a paint pen. Why a paint pen? Because the regular gel pen I had just would not adhere after I used the blender pen from from the Prismacolor pencils, which is basically like an alcohol ink blender pen. And I'm putting that on there, and I don't need to yet. I want to put some leaves on the front first. Okay, I have used my scissors to curl the leaves, just like I showed, or scissors, try that again. My bone folder, thank you. My bone folder to bend the leaves so I could put the foam tape underneath. Let's see if we can get this again. Make sure I get that, keep that going. I'll put that one up there. I think I'll put another one underneath, right in the center, and put a flower on, the one I glued up originally, which I'll put some more glue on just in case. Okay. Now, seems like just about every one of my videos so far, except for the stamping one obviously, has had dry embossing. And what's really funny is I do dry emboss a fair amount, but not as much as I've been on these videos. But, you know, that's the whole point of these embossing boards, is you can dry emboss on them and get these gorgeous results. Okay, so we've got the front, we've got the birdhouse. Let's try the top. Let's put some more leaves on. Don't you just love this paper? It's I will try to tell you what it is. It's a pack that I got at Hobby Lobby. I can tell you that. And Christian. It has Christian sayings on it, you know, about Jesus and so on. I really liked it. I thought this would be beautiful on this. I will tell you what it is when I put the description. Sorry, I had it last week with me when I tried to make this, and of course, like I said, the video shut off, but didn't this week. And I'm going to put a pink flower with a blue center on this side. We're almost done. Oh, come on. There. Don't forget, well, normally I don't leave my lid off my glue like I'm doing right now, and you probably can't even see that. How's that? Look good? But, you know, for speed's sake, I'm leaving it off, and if it does thicken up, what you can do is take your take some acetone, just go down to Walmart, get it from the fingernail section, and use it, and you'll be all set. Just add a little bit, and it does have the instructions in the back of the package for that. Yes, I did get some glue right there, and I'm going to be fixing that with that glue eraser again. I'm just going to put a flower and a couple leaves on either side. And again, I'm going to put another pink flower since I have a blue flower on top, on the front. And there's another pink flower. Actually, if you want to hang on a second after I pop this flower on, which I'm going to put right there, I will try to reach across the room and get that paper pack to tell you what it is. It is called Faith. It's 80 paper pack, and it's by Paper Studios. Thank you very much for joining me. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.